Other considerations in an urban environment, simple stuff. It goes back to some very basic infantry tactics. You go from, for lack of better terms, a two-dimensional battlefield to a full three-dimensional battlefield. So now you're not just fighting guys along an enemy line, in front of you or to the side of you. You're fighting guys up, down, inside buildings, around walls, everything. Considerations you have to have is the type of weapon systems you're carrying, whether or not they'll penetrate through cars or bricks or windows or doors. Also, the type of weapon systems that your potential enemies may have. If they have heavy machine guns, it's one of the considerations that we've had in the past operating in the Middle East. A lot of times they'll have checkpoints set up with the Afghanis or Iraqis where they have heavy Dishka machine guns, 12.7 millimeter machine gun, which even if you're in an armored vehicle, that weapon system will eat through that armor. First, second round penetrations. They just, unless you're in a huge military style vehicle, but say an armored Suburban like they would use in like diplomatic security, State Department type stuff, those rounds will go through that armor very quickly. And it's a major concern. It'll also disable that vehicle very quickly, if nothing else, take out the engines, tires, and stuff like that. So you're going to lose your mobility factor, at which time you have to make a decision of what you're going to do. Are you going to hole up in a building, or are you going to try and commandeer a vehicle or some other tactic to get yourself out of there? And what kind of support assets you have. Do you have a quick reaction force? Do you have guys that are capable of coming and getting you? Also, your security and your posture there. For instance, in Iraq, they have a status of forces agreement now where the military is pulled out of the cities and they don't have free reign. So you can't call for the army to come get you if a convoy or something gets blown up or you get attacked. You no longer have those assets. So now you have to also consider dealing with indigenous forces, dealing with local police, local military, that kind of stuff. They may or may not be corrupt. They could, they could very well attack you. This happened in Iran, late 1979. The government collapsed, and everything went south there, and there was no semblance of order. Nobody knew what they were doing. It was very difficult for those guys. A lot of Americans trying to get out of there. Same thing happens pretty much everywhere else in the world.